Hey guys, so I want to do a video talking about what I think are some of the most common and effective ways to tie someone up off of the start of the match, okay? So I'm just going to go through like maybe 9 or 10 of them, okay? So one of the first ones for me is I like to build off of a lasso, so I can either get this sleeve or this sleeve, but basically the match starts, it's often your first contact point because the guy to do anything has to grab you, right? So I get a hold of one sleeve, I like to put my elbow on the floor, I lift my legs up first, and I fall back to a lasso. Okay, there's different ways to build off of this. There's different ways to build off of this. If he grabs this leg and I put the foot in the bicep, I can go to double sleeve and attack from there. I like to keep my lasso shallow because then it's easier if he tries to trap this. I can push to get space and then get my foot out. So I'm trying to use that to get the double sleeve. But of course, you could also go through with it and start building off of that. Okay, so again, I'm just trying to go through different ways you can just initially entangle someone. So the lasso is one. Another one I really like, this is a great one if you just feel very uncomfortable in open guard, but like this is just really hard to get out of, okay? Is if I can get one lapel grip, you can do this on either side. If I can get one lapel grip like this, what I'll do then is if I can try to get the second one, he won't always give it to you, but if I get the lapel and we're sitting here, he's being a little grip fighting oriented, and I can get this other sleeve, I'm gonna take my right foot and put it directly in the bicep, right? Can you stand up? Better enough here, yeah, perfect. Okay, so I get this sleeve here and I put this directly in the bicep and just fall back here, right? If the guy stays on the ground, go to both knees, it's really hard to get out of this, right? I keep my leg pretty much fully extended in this guard, okay? And it's just really difficult for him to get out of here. A lot of different attacks you can do. I can like wheel sweep, that sets up a triangle. He holds my pants here like this. I can open up here, take an arm bar there, or an omoplata if he turns the arm like that, right? But this is the homolo guard. But again, even if you have no idea what you're doing, if you just go here and like you just want to stall or catch your breath for a second in a match, you don't have a good open guard, it's so hard for guys to get out of this. Just one spider hook with the leg extended and one lapel. One more time on that one. We start here, right? And again, you can be either side. If I reach with my right hand first and then he allows me to get this sleeve like this, then I just put the foot up first. It's easier like that. If you don't have the mobility, you can do it as you fall, but it is better if you can do this because if you fall first, he might jump around you as you're going down. So if you can be here, kind of keep your distance and just fall back and extend that foot. And then just hang on from here, try to build from there. Okay, another one, if you saw my previous video, is just a cross collar grip. There's so many attacks you can do from here, right? I can just go for like collar drags, I can do ankle picks, I can jump single leg X. You know, you can use this to transition to Delahiva. You can use it to go to reverse Delahiva. So it's just a great initial grip that you can not only threaten, but like attacks for like collar drags and ankle picks, but also set up a lot of guards, okay? Another really good initial entanglement grip is the Delahiva. And what I mean by Delahiva, I've had this conversation in previous posts, is just controlling the ankle. So one of the aspects of grip fighting that people miss often is they always think of grip fighting as setting up, which it largely is. There's a lot of grip fighting from here, kind of like Marcelo Garcia. But also there's gonna be a lot of times in a match where you're on your back, kind of in trouble, and you have to grip fight off of your back, right? So like, if I'm here and the guy's kind of hovering over me close, I can't just sit up to like the Marcelo Garcia kind of sit up butterfly position and grip fight. I'm in trouble. If I try to sit up here and put my feet down, I'm opening up my elbow knee space, and he's too much he can do. So you need to learn to defend off of your back here and try to get an initial entanglement grip. So this style of grip fighting is a bit different. And so in this situation, grabbing the ankle, I'll turn on the other side. Okay, in this situation, just like if he's here like this and I can't get a sleeve or something, if he just gives me this, just grabbing the ankle allows me to pull in, and I like to switch to the pants once I do that. So I grab the ankle and then I lock in a little bit by crunching this in so he can't step away, and then I go there. The problem if you go straight for the pants sometimes is as you're doing it, he'll step away, right? So this is a quick grip, lock in, get that, and then now I go here. And now I can have the knee tight or the Delahiva hook in depending on what he's doing. But there's so much you can build off of this. If he grabs the pants, could break the grip, go to sit-up guard, could go to the low guard, build off of that. You know, you can go to Delahiva X. You can, so much stuff you can do with this. If I get this sleeve, I can come out and go far side collar sleeve. Tons of ways you can go about that, right? But understanding that, like, if we're stand over here. Yeah. If we're here like this, right, getting to that ankle grip can be a little bit tricky. That's why I like that collar grip one where you jump to it in my previous video. But when you're on your back, that's always available, okay? Also, those sleeve ones are really useful when you're on your back because often if the guy has his feet back and his hands are forward, it's much easier to get to the sleeves first than the collar. The collar is really far away. That's easier when you're sitting up. Okay. Another one that can be really good is if the guy's like leaning with his right leg, say, and his hands are back, right? So it's kind of more like this. Every time I try to grab a collar grip, he breaks it really quick, keep posture up. Yeah, like this kind of a thing, right? Well, then you can just build off of this, right? And again, there's so many different ways to go about this. Like you could just play a straight like single leg game. If this lapel was out, I could feed it. If it's not, I could grab the belt. Sometimes you can just pull it like under the gi skirt like this, right? And you can build from here with like a single leg. If he tries to push this leg down, I can get the sleeve and start bumping and doing setups from there. From that single leg, right? Also, if you like to play half guard, I could get here, I could underhook and then start forcing my way into a half guard game like this. If he steps in again, right? Here, of course, you can go to shin and shin. I know a lot of people love playing that. When I play it, I like to have this lapel fed at the same time. It's a lot more powerful. If I go shin on shin here and I get to X guard from here, when I have this lapel, you have his posture controlled a lot better. So it's a very good position. So another one is the reverse Delahiva, right? And this will depend, people will have preferences. So maybe you like to play reverse Delahiva on one side, or some people play both sides. But like if the guy's leading with his right leg here, I could go for the single leg position, but I could also control this collar and just go in for the reverse Delahiva position. I like to control this collar because if you mess with this sleeve too much here, he can club pass you here like this, right? So I'm always kind of protecting that with this cross hand here. This foot's up in the bicep. I can play from here. Can use this to start inverting and going through for the back here. Build off of that series. Of course, when you're playing these positions too, it's very easy to use these to segue to other ones, right? Like one thing is like, maybe if I'm here like this and the guy starts trying to push this hook out, he'll give me access to this sleeve. I can break. Now my foot's coming out here and now I'm attacking the far side collar sleeve position like that, right? So as you develop more initial entanglement grips, it makes it easier to segue to the positions you like, right? Because the guy won't always give you what you want. If I want to, if my whole game is getting the sleeve, right? But he's keeping the sleeve away the whole time, well then maybe I need to go collar. And one of the things I really like to do, I'll do it on the other side, is like I'll go for the collar like this, and he's gonna break this. It's pretty hard to break that with one hand, so almost always the guy will do it with two hands, right? So what I'll do is I'll be here like this, I go collar, he goes there, that always gives me this sleeve. As he breaks, boom, now I got this sleeve, right? So once I get this sleeve, I could fall back and lasso and build that way, right? Or I could go foot in the hip, collar, start attacking the far side collar sleeve like that. Again, I'm just using this as like a guide. You guys don't have to use all this. I'm just literally giving you, just off the top of my head, every initial entanglement grip I like to do. Okay, another one is that I can get this sleeve here like this, especially the far side. If he's leading with his right leg like this, the arm of the side that's back. And then I get a lapel, either one, both are good. Okay, and then this foot, I want to get up fast and I want this leg past the body. This is a great position. I call it far side collar sleeve. But if I get like here like this foot can be on the hip, it can be past the body. It's really hard for him to pass, because to pass this way, which is the direction most people pass, especially if they're leading with this right leg, he can't push this leg down. It's really hard. So as I keep my palm up here on either, and this hand on either collar, he can't really address this, right? And if you're difficult with this foot here, this is a great way to hang on to the guy. You can pull into closed guard really easy, right? So off the start of the match, if I get this grip combo, I could go homolo guard, one of the ones I showed before, or I just focus on getting that foot up quick and turning that palm up, right? So the match starts, you get the sleeve, you get the lapel, just shoot that leg past there, right? If he leaves it open, I'll take the closed guard. There he's giving me a triangle. If he leaves the arm up, I could get closed guard. If he keeps the elbow and knee tight, this one, there, then I can go to Delahiva, for example, right? But that's a great initial entrance as well. Two more. Another really good one is just like gi skirt grips, like the bell to the low gi skirt. I don't play a ton of lapel guard systems. I think they're very, very effective. But it's really important to understand from a grip fighting perspective, they have a lot of use, right? So like if I'm looking for the sleeves and he's keeping the sleeves away a lot, right? Every time I look for the collar, he's breaking it. And like all initial grippings are hard to get. And then every time I go for the leg, he backs up. He's being really passive. Well, these grips are great because if you get this low grip here, this is really hard to break, right? So then just initially putting my foot on one of these, right? I did the video with Andres before. If you haven't seen it, look it up in my library. You can jump and tie the belt initially, but even if you just kind of put your foot on one of these, to get rid of this, he has to address this. So I could use this to go straight to like some worm systems or something like that. Or if he grabs this to try to address it, then I can break and start going to that. Or if he grab here, I could break here, and then now I can segue out back to another game. Okay, lastly, I just want to make a small distinction between the lasso and going straight to spider. Sometimes when you're on your back like this and the guy grabs both pants and you're defending, right? If you watch my retention video, I talk a lot about keeping my knees tight and protecting your elbow knee space. You'll be here and the guy will grab your pants like this. So I just put both feet in the biceps first. If he stays, I can get both sleeves at the same time, and now I have an initial lockup. Okay, and this is great to build off of, okay? So yeah, the basic idea there, just look at all those different initial entanglements. Of course, there's more, like maybe the knee shield I didn't really mention, but those are a lot of great ones. And ideally, when you're playing your guard game, from the moment the match starts, you should have an agenda. What you want to avoid is when you play your guard, just kind of coming in and just being like, let's see what happens, and grab and just hope something good happens. If you don't know what's going to happen, you don't have a plan, and your opponent has a plan, it's probably going to go his way. So you want to pick a couple of those, ideally get good at all of them, and then as the match starts, you can see what the guy's giving you available and learn to build an attack series off of that. And then if you have a preferred guard, you can maybe start with what they're giving you and then find a way to segue that to what you want, right? Like for example, the far side collar sleeve, if I really like submitting people from there, and I'm on my back and he's keeping that hand away and he stands close with his foot, then I grab here, right? And I start playing Delahiva. Well, now in Delahiva, he's got to trap this leg often or leg drag it to try to pass, so he'll grab here. So then I get the sleeve and break. Now I push the hip, foot in the bicep, and now I've segued to the guard that I want. Okay? All right, guys. Let me know if you guys have any questions or thoughts about that. I'm going to try to start doing more YouTube videos, just answering some, because I get a lot of questions on Instagram. So feel free to message me on there your questions. I'm going to try to put out more YouTube videos, just answering kind of off the cuff kind of questions like that, because it's a lot of fun for me. And sometimes like the really big organized videos, as I'll still do those, can be a bit taxing. And some of these I find end up being more helpful for people than some of the big ones. Also, if you guys like this stuff, follow me on Instagram at JohnThomasBJJ, because I put a lot of small details up there, okay? As always, if you guys like the content, like, share, subscribe. Thanks a lot.